Hey, seventh grade. So our learning target today is really central tendency word problems. Kind of a weird learning target, but we're just going to deal with all central tendency stuff. Mean, median, mode, range, adjusting the mean. What happens if we delete a data point? What happens if we add a data point? What, how does it change things? So central tendency, that's what that means. Mean, median, mode, range, and some variations of that. We're going to look at 8 word problems today. They won't be, you'll just have some blank pages to fill in the word problems. I know that's a little tricky when you don't actually have the stuff in front of you. So you're going to have to be looking off the screen, and then you'll have 1 page of homework. Okay, so on page 19, we're going to look at some 8 word problems. So you see these boxes, you're going to be filling in the boxes. So here's our first problem. Number 1, it says, use the graph to answer parts A and B. Although we're not going to answer part B, we're just going to answer part A in this. So we don't have to worry about part B. So it's asking for the mean of the data set, which is the average of the data set. So we're going to add them all up and divide. You're going to need a calculator absolutely for sure. And we're talking in millions here, sales in millions for this company. So we'd follow the graph up, and I'm going to do that work for us. Is 4 million. This is looking like 7 million, 8 million, 12 million, 13 million, and what appears to be 16 million. So we add those up. We're gonna add them all up till we're looking for the mean. So get them all a total there. And then we're going to divide by how many scores that we have, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 data points, or 6 months, I should say, 6 months. So we add those up. It's 4 plus 7 plus 8 plus 12 plus 13 plus 16. So we add those up, 4 plus 7 plus 8 plus 12. As you're adding those up, you should end up with 60 million in 6 months. So we divide that to get the mean. The average would be 60 million in 6 months, which is the same thing as 10 million in sales in 1 month. That looks like a slope or a unit rate there actually, but that is the mean or the average amount. About 10 million per month in sales for that company. You can see January was pretty low, which would make sense. Maybe coming off of the holidays that they wouldn't sell as many things in January. And then they sell more, it looks like, in June. So it depends on what that company is selling, I guess. That's example number one, or box number 1. Moving on to box number 2 then. This is some central tendency stuff, and we're going to have some changes happening where we have to adjust some things. It says, what happens to the following set of data if the value 89 is added? So we have all these data points, and we want to know what happens if we add 89. So what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to make 2 columns over here. And on the left-hand side, we're going to say without the 89, just as we see it. And then we're going to say what happens with the 89. We're going to figure out the central tendencies for both situations over there. All right, so without the 89, let's make a stem and leaf plot. So our stem and leaf plot without the 89, our lowest scores looks like it's in the 40s, looks like maybe 43. And our largest score looks like it's 67. So we'd have 40s, 50s, and 60s, it looks like. And that's without the 89 in the data set. Okay, so in our 40s then, we have 45, 43, and 46. So we're going to arrange those from least to greatest. So we have 43, 45, 46. Okay, in our 50s, then we have 50 and 56, least to greatest. So we have 50 and 56. And then in our 60s, we have 67 and 67. 67 and 67. So that's all of our data points without the 89. So if we look at the central tendencies, we would say that we have a mean, a median, a mode, and then we have, of course, a range. The mean, we would add them all up. So we would say 43 plus 45 plus 46 and so on. Go ahead and add those up. Excuse me. Add those all up. 43 plus 45 plus 46 plus 50 and so on. When we do that, I get 374. Make sure you're getting 374 when you add those all up. Without the 89, that is. 374 without the 89. 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 And then we're going to divide by how many scores we have. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 scores. So our average would be 374 divided by 7 is 53.42 is my mean without the 89. The median is the number from least to greatest in the data set. So we're going to go ahead and cross them out from least to greatest. So least, greatest, least, greatest, least, greatest. It looks like our median is 50 without. So our median is 50 without. And our mode is the number that occurs the most often. And it looks like the number that occurs the most often in our data set is 67. It occurs twice. So our mode is 67. And our range is the biggest number minus the smallest number. So our biggest number is 67. And our smallest number is 43. So we have 67 minus 43 gives us a range of 24. So these are our numbers without the 89. They're asking what happens to the data if we put 89 in the data set. So let's go ahead and make another seven-leaf plot with the 89. So we have this 89 that's going to be added. So no change to the front end of this. Those will all be the same in order, least to greatest. Those will be all the same. But what's going to change is we're going to add this 89 into the data set. So when we do that, our mean is going to change slightly. So our mean, we would add them all up and divide. Instead of by 7, now we have 8 data points. So we had 374 when we added them all up. But we're going to add 89 into that. So all of these add to 374 plus this 89. So when we do that, 374 plus 89 gives us a total of 463. And instead of dividing by 7 scores, now we need to divide by 8 scores because we've added that 8th score. Gives us a mean or an average of 463 divided by 8. Typing it in right now gives us an average of 57.88. When I look over here at my choices, it says choice A, the mean approximately increases by 4.4. So our mean was 53.42. And it changed to 57.88, which is an increase of about 4.4. So this one is looking really good to me. But let's go and make sure that the other ones are not correct for sure. So the median, let's take a look at the median from least to greatest. So we would say least, greatest, least, greatest, least, greatest. The median is between 50 and 56. Remember how we do that? We add those 50 plus 56 and divide by 2. So the median over on that right-hand side is going to be now 53 because 50 plus 56 divided by 2 is 53. So our median increased by 3. It went from 50 to 53, so B is out. It only increased by 3. The range over on that right-hand side, now my biggest number, I'm out of space here, guys. The range on that biggest number is 89 because we added that. And our smallest data point was 43. So my range is 46. My range is 46. So it says that the range is going to increase by 46. No. My range didn't increase by 46. My range was 24 and it went to 46. It did not increase by 46. It just is 46. And then the mode was 67. And the mode stayed the same. It's going to stay 67. No change on the mode, but so that doesn't make sense at all. Answer should be A. So that's in box 2. Answer should be A. Okay. So now box number 3. Shelley needs at least a 95% average in her English class to be nominated for the English Award. Her scores are listed below. What does she need to score on that last essay to average that? Keep in mind that this is called adjusting the mean. We just practiced that. So we say there's our unknown. We're going to add all of these up. This is that hand method that we just worked on. Add them all up. 99 plus 94 plus 96 plus 98 plus 93. Adding those all up. 99 plus 94 plus 96 plus 98 plus 93 plus x. And we know the average has to be 95% she needs. When we add all of these up, we get 480. Make sure you're getting 480 plus this unknown x. The average has to be 95. So to get the average, we have to divide by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 scores. Dividing by 6 scores. Hand method kicks in. We got to kill that denominator. Kill that denominator. We multiply by 6, nice and high. Copy, paste. So if you haven't used it, we drag it down. That's 480 plus x equals 95 times 6 on the right-hand side. 95 times 6 is 570. Go ahead and type that in. Make sure you're getting 570. Okay, group hand method kicks in right here. Take that hand, cover the variable. We subtract 480, copy, paste. So we end up with x equals 90, a test score of 90. 90%. Answer is B, 90%. Okay. What is the outlier in the data set? Remember, the word outlier means outcast. Something just doesn't fit in. Which one just doesn't fit in? You should be saying 17 is the outlier, D. Outlier, outcast, which one of these things just doesn't belong? D, 17. What is the mean of this data set without the outlier? So we're going to go ahead and do the same thing. We're going to say with the 17, what's the mean? And without the 17, what's the mean? Okay. Or actually, we don't even need to do with. We can just do without. So we won't need this column at all. So let's find without. So let's get rid of the 17 and let's calculate the mean. So this plus 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 that. Divide by how many scores? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Looks like 9 scores. Go ahead and add those up. I'll wait for you. I'm going to do it at the same time. 4 plus 5 plus 7 plus 5 plus 9 plus 6 plus 8 plus 7 plus 5. Go. All right, so I don't have my calculator here, so I'm going to go ahead and add those up, I think, by hand. Sorry about that. So we would say that's really, so we have 4 plus 5 is 9, 9 plus 7 is 16, 16 plus 5 is 21. I'm doing this in my head, guys. 30, 30 and 14 is 44, 44 and 12 looks like 56. I'm getting 56. So we go 56 divide by 9. So how many 9s go into 56? So we'd say 9 goes into 56. How many times, guys? You should be thinking about that. How many times it goes in there? 54 times. 9 times 6 is 54. Remainder 2. So our answer should be 6.2. Our answer should be 6.2C. Okay, so number 5, 6.2C. That's without the 17 in there. All right, moving on to number 6 then. Number 6 is asking the first 4 scores on Amy's math test are 25, 31, 35, and 30. What does she need to get on her 5th test to have an average score of 30? So same idea, 25, 31, 35, 30, and then she has this unknown test score. What does she need to get to an average of 30? So she's going to divide by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So when she adds those up, 25 plus 31 plus 35 plus 30 plus this unknown x here. So we add those up, 25 plus 31 plus 35 plus 30. So we have 25, 31, 35, 30. So we get 10, 11, so 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's see, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It looks like 121. Go ahead and make sure that's correct. Everybody should be adding that up at the same time. So we have 25. Sorry, my pen's just really bad right here. When we add that up, let's see, we get 11, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, 121. So we have 121 plus x divided by 5 equals 30. Okay, so our job is to kill that denominator, solving for the variable x. We're going to multiply nice and high by 5, copy, paste. On the left-hand side, then, we have a 121 plus x equals 150. Hand method kicks in. We're going to subtract 121, copy, paste. So we end up with x equals, Looks like 29 would be the score she needs to get. She's going to need to get a 29 on that last test to get the average that she needs. 29 is her unknown score. Great. Let's move to the next box. Box number 7. Which number, if added to the data set, would affect the mean the most? So if you were to make a change, which number would affect the mean the most? So looking at these numbers, which one just would make the biggest effect on it? Really, we're looking for the outlier there, something that just isn't really fitting into that data, so it's really going to make some changes. D, 67 would not fit into that data set, so we would say D for sure. And last problem together. Here we go. Craig took 2 tests and got 75 and 80. What score does Craig have to get on the next test to have the median score of 80? So Craig has a 75 and Craig has an 80. What has to happen on the next test score so that so he has a median? So this time we're talking middle number, median. What has to happen so that his average is a score of 80? Well, really the next score has to be over 80%, and that's guaranteeing him that this will be his middle score then. This has to be a bigger score than 80. If it's equal to 80, that would work too, but safely over 80 guarantees that his median would stay 80. Your homework for tonight is to just do page 20, pretty fast homework. Have a fabulous night.